Kim made her way to the university, standing there uncertainly, unsure where to go. She had lost the privilege of staying on campus since she had withdrawn from school some time ago. Taking out her phone, she called her father, who answered firmly, asking what she wanted. She told him she had nowhere to go and needed money to stay in a hotel. Furious, he reminded her that he had given her countless chances and that she had brought this upon herself. He insisted that she needed to learn a lesson and could only return home when she became a better daughter. Before she could respond, he hung up. Standing there, lost and overwhelmed, Kim couldn't believe how everything had unraveled. Just then, she spotted a friend from class passing by. Rushing to her, she asked if she could stay in her dorm for a while. The friend, surprised to see her, asked if she was okay and mentioned that her disappearance had worried the lecturers since she had been one of the smartest students in class. Dismissing her inquiries, Kim insisted that she needed help and asked if she was willing to assist or not. The friend hesitated, explaining that university policy prohibited non-students from staying in campus dorms. However, since Kim had helped her with schoolwork in the past, she decided to make an exception. She told Kim that she rarely stayed in her room and handed her the keys. Kim, relieved, thanked her. The friend looked at her and expressed hope that she would return to school, emphasizing that she was too intelligent to give up. With that, she walked away. Feeling grateful that she had at least secured a place to sleep, Kim proceeded to the dorms. Meanwhile, Woobin arrived home and noticed Yuna's purse on the couch. Picking it up, he chuckled to himself, thinking about her. He found her persistence and determination to chase after him amusing. He had encountered many women who pursued him, but none had been as relentless as Yuna. Most eventually gave up when he refused to open up to them. He touched his lips as he recalled how she had taken the initiative to kiss him earlier that morning. He found that both cute and attractive. As he considered texting her about the purse, he stopped, remembering the promise he had made to Sonjin. He then glanced at the message he had sent to Minsu and noticed that she had not responded. Placing the purse back on the couch, he walked away. Later that night, Sonjin and Minsu lay in bed together. Holding her in his arms, he told her he couldn't wait to see her in her wedding gown walking toward him. Minsu smiled, admitting that she still couldn't believe their wedding day was approaching. She reminisced about when they first met, and Sonjin, looking at her, said it was the best day of his life. He believed meeting her was fate and vowed that in the next life he would search for her and marry her again. Feeling lucky, Minsu reflected on how she had always wondered who she would end up with, and meeting the most amazing man felt like a blessing. Looking at Sonjin, she brought up the fact that Woobin had texted her, asking to meet up. Sonjin's expression changed slightly. Minsu reassured him that it was probably because they hadn't seen each other in a long time and needed to catch up. She mentioned that Woobin had been there for her during tough times and that she wanted to thank him. Sonjin listened carefully, well aware of Woobin's feelings for Minsu. He knew that Woobin had been drinking lately because of her. Despite this, he trusted him and knew he wouldn't cross any lines. Deep down, he was happy that Minsu had softened Woobin and made him realize that he had emotions after all. Snapping out of his thoughts, he told Minsu that she could meet up with Woobin. She smiled, saying she would let him know when she was ready. Pulling her closer, Sonjin looked into her eyes and mentioned that there was an important topic they needed to discuss. Minsu, curious, asked if something was wrong. Sonjin, still holding her, admitted that the reason he had never made any advances toward her was out of respect, assuming she wanted to wait until marriage. He confessed that her reaction the previous night had made him wonder if he had been wrong to make that assumption without consulting her. Minsu smiled, assuring him that she appreciated his respect and that she was comfortable waiting until they were married. Sonjin, relieved, pulled her even closer, whispering that their wedding was almost here and that he couldn't wait for their wedding night. Minsu blushed, understanding exactly what he meant, and laid her head on his chest, wishing that moment could last forever. The next morning, Sonjin's father sat in his study, looking at old pictures of his children. As he reflected on how hard he had worked to shape their futures, his phone rang. It was Kim. Answering the call, he asked if she was okay. Kim requested to meet him, and he agreed, suggesting they meet at the golf course.